Thank you all for being here. My name is Amy Jackson. Welcome to Gestalt Poetry Open Mic. And this is our first one for 2020. And our feature today is J. Prince Thompson. So to start off, as usual, I got 3 poems, and you all get to decide which one. The first one is of simultaneity, a bit dark, just let me know. And then All the Same. And then I've got one from Pablo Neruda to read, which is The Hunter in the Forest. Oh my gosh, choices. Yeah, let's do the dark one. Okay, we can do that. Simultaneity. The way Matisse sketched the delicacy of his grandson's smile while his daughter paid the price of French resistance in the hands of the Gestapo, tied to the 4 legs of a table while the album on the gramophone was played to cover her screams. Someone listening to the same album somewhere else at the same time remembered peace and dancing. While the second of 2 world wars was raging, Bonnard was writing his letters and painting, and Matisse was studying trees. Long before the Spanish Civil War that killed so many philosophers and poets, long before Hitler tested his blitzkrieg first on Madrid, the Alhambra was filled with people from all over Granada. The water was flowing from the lion's mouth, whispering the name of Federico Garcia Lorca, the night he celebrated the Gypsies. The sandstone alley in Salamanca echoes the lonely man at his piano, serenading lovers he'll never know, 2 balconies down. The way fruit describes itself with its smell, far from the ravages of war, the Alhambra evolves stillness. Water flows from the lion's mouth. The sandstone absorbs the whispers of time to timelessness. And you guys want another poem from me? Is that cool?
Sure.
Okay. What we've got left is The Hunter in the Forest by Pablo Neruda, and also All the Same, which is a more recent poem that I've written.
Read the Neruda.
Okay, can do. It's a well-worn book. I've read this back and forth. And you all know who Pablo Neruda is. The Hunter in the Forest. Into this forest of mine I go with my roots, with my fruitfulness. Where do you come from? Asks the green leaf broad as a map. I don't reply. There the earth is damp and my boots seek, not for it to open, but the earth is mute. It will be mute until I begin to be dead and living matter, climbing plant, brute trunk of a spiny tree, or quivering cup. The earth is mute so as not to reveal its different names or its vast language. It is mute because it works away, taking in, giving birth. Whatever dies, it gathers in like an ancient, hungry creature. Everything rots away in it, even the shadow, the lightning flash, bony skeletons, water, ash. Everything comes together in the dew and the black drip of the jungle. The sun itself rots, and the broken gold it sheds falls into the sack of the jungle, and soon it has fused into an amalgam, has turned to flour, and its shining addition has rusted away like abandoned armor. I come to look for my roots, the ones that discovered the mineral food of the forest, that fierce substance, gloomy zinc, poisonous copper. That root has to nourish my blood. Curling underneath is the other weighty part of the silence, deep like the print of a reptile. It creeps on, devouring. It comes to water and drinks it, and up through the tree goes the secret command. Dark is the work that makes the stars green. Thank you. I love Papa Narita so good. So does anyone want to start, or shall I read another one? Because I can do that.
I want to hear the last one.
The last one? Okay, we can do that. Okay, this one's called All the Same. In the shadow of the homeless man, the new Amazon building comes up. Construction workers and homeless alike on the curb eating their McDonald's. The richest country in the world? Who knows anymore but the homeless men, women, and children living under the overpass, tent cities cleared and nowhere to go. The safety net is still there. Food, health care, a place to spend the night, but it's getting thinner every day. And a proposal to stop feeding the homeless, as if they're not real people, as if they don't matter anymore. The homeless mother and daughter came to our agency in Atlanta, seeking shelter, food, anything. My boss said coffee is all we have. The mother poured so much sugar, creamer into the cup for her daughter. Drink up, baby, drink up. That's breakfast for now. My boss said a lot of women experiencing domestic violence will leave home with their children after the end of the school year, so their numbers spike. There's a huge percentage of homeless veterans. That this is so stuns, shocks me. For how do you care for us all, Lord? Sweet, good Lord, how do you care for us? Pray for us to find solutions. Expand the safety net. Every one of us could become homeless at any time. The homeless are citizens, too, in the shadows of the new unaffordable housing high-rises. The homeless and the construction workers blend with the tourists walking down Broadway. They blend. We are all the same. Perhaps the homeless need a voice, those who help them too. After all, we are the same. They are just like me and you. Thank you. Well, first up, we have Robert Stone, and he wants to say something before he gets up here. You can say it up here. It's fine.
I've got 2 poems, not very long. The first one is a birthday poem for a lady in Houston. I started writing them 11 years ago, and I've written one every year for 11 years on her birthday. The other one is a sort of editorial for a newspaper in Kentucky that reported the story of one of their firemen being hurt in a fire and dying in Louisville a couple of days later. And this poem is on the first anniversary of his death that I sent for them to put in their newspaper. The first one is the birthday poem. What gift is better than a gift handmade, where seeming duplicates are each unique? For human hand is never constant, stayed on proper tension in unbroken streak. What thought is better than a heartfelt hope, where opportunities are choices apt for passions driving one to learn to cope on every day in ways before untapped? What joy is better than a silent love, where action tells what words can never say, for satisfaction comes not from above, on declarations loud, soon gone astray. Skilled hands, without a second thought, betray the simple thread into complex crochet. I always have weird things. This is the one about the death of the fireman. It's a villanelle, which is, I consider, one of the most difficult forms to write in the English language. Too seldom do we praise the selfless brave, those caring ones who join a band of brothers, who perils face both life and goods to save. Their care permits our living outside cave, within which seeking seeming safety smothers. Too seldom do we praise the selfless brave. Their diligence our paths with kindness pave. What greater gifting by devoted others, who perils face both life and goods to save. Our common days are filled with what we crave, the wanting needless when we see another's. Too seldom do we praise the selfless brave. Our special days are marked by what they gave, those daughters, sons, those siblings, fathers, mothers, who perils face both life and goods to save. To those who strive that freedom's banners wave, our thanks for daily life that safety covers. Too seldom do we praise the selfless brave, who perils face both life and goods to save.
Thank you, Robert. That was beautiful. Next, we have David Harris. Thank you.
There are certain forms that are actually really easy to write, but incredibly difficult to write well. I've written any number of bad villanelles. That's easy.
Yes.
I used to live in Garrison, New York. So that's the Garrison in the title here. Garrison, nostalgia. The snow off the plow would blow the mailbox off its post down the hill, until I learned to bring it in when I heard the forecast. Another time, the aesthetic vigilantes painted it black. They didn't like pink. You couldn't see the house from the road, too many trees. I worried about the big maple. If it fell the wrong way, the house would splinter. It was in a named place, no town or village, but a post office and a train station immortalized by Edith Wharton. Someone saw a bear once behind the library, and many of the roads were named while I lived there. I lived quietly with a dog and was mostly happy. This is about marrying my second ex-wife. Sweeping cicadas. Between fasts and holidays, the rabbi vetoed almost all the dates we wanted for the wedding. We took what we could get. It chanced to be the day the neighbor picked to replace his roof. It was also the height of cicada season. They sprang out of the earth, found love, and died, singing all the while. Their hum of bad electronics backgrounded hammering, mixtape, ceremony. Their corpses spilled over every flat surface. That morning, I rose early, 6-ish, and found a broom. From the upper deck to the lower, from there to the patio, filling trash bags with the newly dead or soon to be dead. The family, Rose, joined me in setting up tables, chairs, turning the scene of insect carnage into a site for rituals of human optimism, promises of love and permanence. And this is actually 2 poems for the price of 1. 2 paraphrases of a haiku by Basho. Alone on a bough, watching autumn dark rise, solitary crow. Naked bough supports shining solitary crow, darkness in autumn. Thank you.
Beautiful images, David. And just the way that you paint pictures is lovely. Thank you. And now we have Andrea Pilot. Yay! Thank you.
So this one is a couple years old, but the theme is on my mind. It's called Safe. I awake in a blood-filled world, bits and pieces cut off me by opportunists who say if it can be taken, I should lose it. Looking down, I find I hold a knife. Blood trails to multiple victims, blows thrown with no awareness are all easier to deny. Unnerved, I drop my knife, knowing it may cost me my life, but I'm not really living, am I? What I want most is to be safe, so I disarm, I lay my offenses down. If I can stay alive in this replicate, as I learn to flow and deflect, to take no borders on. A world full of blood is a world full of madness, so I disarm, I lay my defenses down. All I want is to be safe in this world and to be around. Thank you. Let's see.
Thank you, Andrea. That was so powerful and vivid. Like, I was on the edge of my chair. There we go. Pablo Neruda has written about a lot of his lovers, and this is one. Love's Delia 1. Delia is the light in the window open to truth, to the honeyed tree, and time passed without my knowing. If there remained from our wounded years only her shining intelligence, the sweetness of the one who shared the harsh rim of my sorrows. For to go by what I remember of where the 7 swords pierced me in their quest for blood, and absence welled up in my heart, there, Delia, the glowing moon of your mind kept my grief at bay. From a vast country you came to me with an ample heart, spread out like golden grain, open to the changings of the flower, and there is no gentleness like that which falls as rain does in the meadows. The drops descend slowly, space, dung, and silence receives them, and the suddenly stirring cattle lowing in the damp air under the violin of the sky. From there I suddenly recognized you, like the leftover scent of a rose on a morning coat in winter, as if you had always been mine, without being so, from nothing more than that bare trace of the sharp shadow of a petal or a shining sword. Then came the war. You and I met it at the door, a passing virgin who sang as she died, and the smoke seemed lovely, the explosion of blue gunpowder over the snow. But soon our broken windows, shrapnel among the books, pools of fresh blood in the streets. War is no smile. Hymns went to sleep. The ground vibrated with the heavy tread of soldiers. Death spread itself, flower by flower. Our love didn't come back. It was bitter that time without tears. The tears came later, for honor itself wept, perhaps in defeat. We don't know that a huge grave was opening, and into it were falling nations and cities. That's how old our scars are. We keep the sorrow in the ashes. Now through the gates of Madrid come the Moorish troops, and Franco with his cartload of skeletons, our friends, dead and exiled. Delia, among so many leaves from the tree of life, your presence is the fire, your goodness like dew, dove in the raging wind. Should I read that? We have someone here?
Yeah.
And now spoken words. He was a feature of ours last year. He's come back to see us. Thank you.
Let's do this one. I always like this one. Okay. I've been going through these love patterns just to fall deep in love's caverns. I lived in love backwards. Pick up the pieces when love shatters. I sit and drink in love's taverns. Get mad when love scatters. Like, when did black love matter? Just that love between a man and woman, those two who love wild since birth. We ain't been nothing but a voodoo love child. I can sense earth when I sense love birth. Though I don't give 2 cents about how much you think love is worth. I mean, they keep telling me to keep her by my side like she my rib, but she been there. And sometimes she can be so cold-hearted for real, like my piece of steel. Though we still revolve around love, we went from lovers to revolvers, and you can see how our conversations are a blast. I'm not even really sure how much longer it could last. I mean, we always on and off again. Maybe it does matter, those damn love patterns that stagnant, always thinking, what's new love? That I want you, but I don't trust you love. That can't talk, but we can text love. That all we do is argue, scream, and have good sex love. Please, your worst moments are my best ofs. I mean, do the kisses and hugs hide all the line in the so-called it ain't cheating if we don't tell? So snitches get stitches if you're trying to hit this. I mean, is it worth it just to start over in the end with another pretty face that can't look that ugly truth in the eyes while you two disguise as that BS representative role playing on your Facebook pages? That love word is a mouthful, so bitter when I taste it. I hate it and I love it. I mean, love patterns like the phases of a dream I've had over and over. You gotta detox me. These feelings got me strung out, hungover, and hardly sober. But when the love's just right, it's such a natural high. See, you could wallow in your excuses as if your life is a dull black and white painting fool, or you could recite in the many colors of these Langston hues. Whether or not you understand it, you gotta feel it. It's like you feel the pressure when the stress is too much to deal with, and you fold when the time comes. But you gotta hold on to your partner and squeeze tight to that pressure, make diamonds. They say that little feeling, you gotta trust it. But love at first sight is a lot of nothing. Love patterns had me sewing up the heartbreak, thinking my commitment, I gotta cut it. But fuck it, you gotta love it. That's like came right on time. Okay, let me do snap. Let's do okay, I'm gonna do another kind of love piece. They say lipstick stains on the glass are like remnants of the past, a symbol of drunken love, or maybe one for kissing ass. It has left a sour taste, but your presence still surrounds this space like that smoke in the air. No breath is spared, I'm blinded by your grace, so why an image of your face still burn in my mind? My thoughts now bind to those answers we couldn't find. They were wrong, so I had to change my mind. Like you ain't no dime that was worth my time, but I still paid that cost. I spent that time that I lost. You made my teeth cringe until the end, and now I bite my words only to eat demons. I mean, they say angels cry when their wings don't fly, but I guess we decided we shouldn't try because we never crawled or walked or ran. We just jumped in the fire to land in the sand on this glass heart that we broke in the end. It was ours, but in this final hour, the relationship that we grew had deflowered. Innocence slain and our courage cowered. Our passionate powers tamed. How we used to take these love showers, but now it's like we can't stand the rain, and for the sweetness of victory we scour, but for now that taste is still sour. Was I loving for a benefit? I guess that's why I finished it. Feel like I'm hanging by a cross next to an equal sign, because the answer to this equation is something only we could find, because we made it complicated. The origins of our blues belong to us like Compton made it. They say love is something that can only be demonstrated, or like a house that needs renovating. I'm trying to pair our problems with our limitations. They say our love is ugly. Well, I'm trying to add some foundation so we can face it. Kiss and make up just to make over. See eye to eye, but we stay fighting like we some soldiers, and now it's just over. Thank you. Did I miss anybody? I missed a couple people.
You're fine.
Okay, all right. Let's do this. You poor soul. Why can't you seem to fit in their shoes, those poor souls? Why do the rich seem to wear what the poor soul? You sip and taste shame, that's why you pour so little, still that cup runneth over, no need to pour. So let's just tilt the Big Dipper so it rains in the pour, so much their faces fill with their pores. Oh no, even if they don't got your back like it's a Porsche dough. See, I'm just a thirsty poor soul who be pouring out his soul. Is it running too fast? Well, I'll just pour slow. They say, you always making it rain, that's why you pour. So what's the point of being lit when it continues to pour? Yo, what's the point of acting out just to put on a poor show? I wish I had the strength at the poor show. You know, them lost spirits. We saving these poor souls, losing religion just to find shoes for the poor souls. I couldn't stomach being starved. It was leaving my line in torso. Me and my homies couldn't afford no more. We had to sell our worthless poor souls. But for what? Nothing too pivotal. I had to get some new J's and still couldn't stand on principle. Our pride had us left for dead. Rather than being fed, we used to be about that dough, and now it's like we too broke to break bread. I couldn't even believe the words I just said. Pay me no mind. This ain't no woe is me or a cry to help the poor you see or the ones you don't see. We coming in peace. We them pieces that you won't see, invisible as you drive by. It's so typical. Capitalism wakes up our American dreams. It's so minuscule. looking for a Robin Hood while they steady robbing the hood and the suburbs. You can see how the income go from the lower to the upper. Is this what the government or just how they choose to govern it? War on poverty is like war on sovereignty. I'm sorry, it just bothers me. Continue to drive by, but if you see my sign fly right through your window, just know I did it for my kinfolk who sit outside with your window. Sit outside your window with that needle. Try not to give in, so. While you brag about all your presidents, it was very evident that they didn't give a shit. Spending billions on these campaigns, we ain't saying a damn thing. To your country, you complain, but you refuse to be the change. No, you don't give a shit. You poor soul.
Wow, wow, wow. That was amazing. Thank you so much, spoken words.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Well, what I'm going to do is wait, just like shut it down for a little bit, and then we'll start it back up. But we've got refreshments, and we've got all kinds of things. You guys want to stay with us? Thank you so much. Talk to you in a bit. Welcome back to Gestalt Poetry Open Mic. This is our first of 2020. And our feature is J. Prince Thompson.
Alright, y'all,
Yes.
Po boys.
Make noise! A year ago today, since then, I certainly grown. What's been shown is just straight consistency, and it's just straight mind blown. I mean, my head even explodes when I mess around and just lay out these reality quotes. That was all I wrote throughout the 28 years of me just living. It was just at one point I didn't even know what to talk about. But this here is just a scene that I seen in my dreams and in my nightmares. And I stare as if I don't care. But yet fear just always separates me from what I see is so great. Miss Lee. I sit back and I just relax. Most times under pressure, here and there, I may go on an override, but I still overdrive and I still oversee and rise. This type of feeling that I get, how you think I call myself unique? See, this here is just a little pre-presentation of what you may see in the middle of this. May not know how much time I get, but this here is just a message. I figured all of y'all would agree that this unique individual is just coming with something mad exclusive. You never know what you might see about him. So, my name is J. Prince, and I rep this shit to the fullest. What you see is what you gonna see every day. Cause I refuse to back down from any challenge you place in front of me. This ain't no poetry talk that I be speaking. This here is just real talk for your mind. Some people on the outside is just scared to present what is thee. And yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I smoothly get y'all through these masterpieces. The rhythm voices in my mind keeps me flowing. Can't explain the feeling when I'm zoned out creating writtens. Not to mention, this dimension that I placed myself in has me confined to this world where there is no sign off ending. Get it? Sign off, no ending. Cooking up wicked recipes when I develop manifestations I envision and see. Consistently eat, sleep, and breathe this unique poetry. Outsiders because they hate, I love them wickedly, but it's a fact that they don't love me. Let me run this back. Outsiders, because they hate, I love them wickedly, but it's a fact that they don't love me. Cold chills in my heart, that's what sets us apart. It's no brainer when I say I bury all my anger. This exclusive style that I present connects well with my dialect. I come with some unorthodox type style, and this gifted passion runs wild. It's another type of rush that naturally turns me out, that naturally tunes out time, written on my spirit and heart. It once tried to fade out ink, but I keep writing on the block, but I refuse to catch writer's block. Written on my spirit and heart, it once tried to fade out ink, but I keep on writing on the block, but I refuse to catch writer's block. On top of my craft, created my own path, maintaining what I built, with more messages concealed. If you don't know me by now, then feel free to ask about me. I keep it exclusive at all times. Even when I don't do this the right way, I still shine. These writtens I lay stay lit like the tip of a sage. I spit poetry even when I'm off stage. I'm a walking performance. I say I spit poetry even when I'm off stage. I'm a walking performance. Poetic renegade. Never been afraid to step to any challenge when it comes to wrecking this stage. Remember what I said last time, or last night rather? Shit look like a fucking t-shirt the way I ripped this stage up. I never burnt the bridge unless I never wanted to cross it. So, for outsiders who sit up here and talk shit, I figured they lost it. As I walk on this stage with so much nerve-wrack and speechless thoughts, I take a look at my resume and realize there's more to say. Because I've been silent so long that even my crew say that I don't say too much. But I ain't never faced a challenge and didn't master it. Before you see me quit poetry, you see me with my wrist cut. And saying J Prince ain't exclusive, you know that's unheard of. I really hate the trip, but yet I gotta. Because most folks is in need of a reminder. These words have eyes, so peep what I'm saying. I see most people let this unique poetry go over their heads. So be it. Unique poems are not made to be repeated. So what's understood should never have to be explained. It's insane how I manifest this lane, and man support is all I ever wanted to gain. Sometimes I got no words for this pain, but I display what's behind this dark cloud full of rain, becoming more of a threat when I'm more silent without writing. Shattered spirit, fog visions, look straight through. I call it smoke and mirrors. I got nowhere to go but to the pen, notebook, and this phone with unique motivation to add. I gets deep with unique technique and with knowledge on my mind and green in my eyes. I can't vision no less, but I don't imagine. Hold up. I can't vision no less, but yet it don't take imagination to know a brother been blessed with this gifted voice. All right, y'all can cheer now. I ain't done yet, but y'all can cheer. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. At the college I graduated from, they heard me, and they just kept on pointing, throwing that at me. You a preacher, you don't even know it. Stop running from your calling.
All kinds of ways to be a preacher, though.
I told him, you need to focus on you, because I'm a poet. That's all I'm gonna be.
Yes.
I ain't gonna be like this too much.
That's cool.
Can y'all agree?
Yeah.
I feel that, yeah.
Okay, so if y'all can agree, then I ain't gotta explain much. Now, I wanna explain what led to this whole po' boys and poets thing, and why I repped it to the fullest. So, anybody who remembers this, I dedicate this to the people who motivated me to keep going with this. So, po' boys,
Make noise.
po' boys.
Make noise.
See, y'all.
Why cannot?
Po' boys.
Make noise.
Alright. When I first encountered this element, I was humble and then I was scared of it. Didn't know what to do in order to embrace it, but I damn near couldn't bear it. See, Wolf Love was the feature, and I was nerve-wracked at what I seen. But it was all that I needed to see. Bottom line, I learned from my PBMPs. When I first became official, I felt like the little brother of the camp. Still do, which humbles me more to accept the fact that I'm nothing more than a beginner. For now, that is. The enemy keeps me centered. I halfway got over the crumbles of the shell that folks told me that I need to step out of. But every time I'm with my PBMPs, it's all the reason in the world to feel like I'm at home. So while I be learning from the steps of Mo, the Christo, spoken word for the culture. Get it? Spoken word for the culture. Wolf giving love to nothing but family, at the same time protective of her folks. TJ the protege, low key, showing how to be outspoken like Cairo. And M. Dot giving pointers on how to hold your composure like Frizzy. Let me just say this. It's not easy being a PBMP. So, how we do this, we make this look easy. But when we behind the scenes, it's like we about to have a heart attack. So, needless to say, T. Lynn gave confidence while Bria gave the blueprint to overcoming all fears. I may not be direct enough, but it's from the heart. Feel me? From the heart. A whole year going in and I didn't know where to start. Before this poetry shit, I was torn apart. I was still broken, but leave it to my PBMPs to heal this invisible wound that I never revealed. I'm here to stay, and I know y'all see it. Bottom line, I love each and every one of y'all, man. And I hold my words to it. So, never forget, I'm PBMP. We all we got. Okay? So, consider this me giving you all your flowers.
Appreciate it.
Love y'all, man. Because before I keep going, like I've been thinking about it. Spoke, Freeman, Mama, my man Solo. I mean, y'all seen me grow. I watched y'all grow. You know what I'm saying? I don't say much. That's a fact. But we all helped each other grow at the end of the day. And I really want to thank y'all because If it wasn't for y'all giving me the motivation, y'all doing what y'all doing, then I wouldn't have no motivation to keep going with it. So y'all see me doing my thing, I be feeling like I get the same energy the same way y'all give me that same energy. And sometimes, and most times, y'all don't even know what y'all do for me to even keep going. See, I'm an exclusive poet. Y'all know that. I'm not always consistent. I may do sloppy, but I still keep it going, and I don't miss no beat. So I love y'all. Y'all keep going. We gonna keep going. We gonna go to the top. And po boys.
Make noise.
Motherfucking right, we doing, man. Come on. Nah, listen here. I sat down. You know, I sat down. Opened my mind, right, and said it's time for me to design the right line, making it one of a kind, keeping it laid back and aggressive and all that stuff. Sure enough, y'all do me a favor. Tell them outsiders that I'm making motherfuckers change their mind if they ever doubt. I figure people forget that I'm here to stay. And no matter what they do, I got warning shots in place for anybody that want to get out of place. Every day I wake up and just do my thing. So I tell them, don't make an ass up out of yourself trying to assume if I'm a quit or not. I'm rated unique. Only a few can sit with me. Only a few can absorb this. Only a few can deal with this. It's very complicated, I'm sure. But hey, people just need to start thinking 3 times before they start cop blocking the prince for doing this poetical shit. Cause I mean, like, it's almost like I'm spreading like a virus and do it so swiftly and don't even know if I'm even gaining love or gaining envy. See, they still get things misconstrued, mistaking my confidence for my arrogance. And this stuff is starting to get embarrassing. But yet, here I am, showing my ass again. Anyway, my technique's unique, and my word is born. J Prince is the name. But they screaming out, po boys.
Make noise.
I swear, I just love repping this shit. Alright, man. Too basic. You know, I'm not technical like that.
Creeping tiger.
Creeping tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's more of a high science. It's like I'm changing the climate. Looking all around, this whole world is like a jungle. It gets dark, light, rain, sleet, hail, snow. And me, I got thick skin, so I know how to deal with it. I observe, I don't say much. And I do that because people don't know when to jump the gate and when to sit down. I make sit around with a frown. Sometimes you don't need to be smiling. Some people be wild. Me, I keep it laid back smooth. It takes a lot for me to go over the edge. With that pressure, it's hard to fight it. I'm like the creeping tiger. You don't know what you're gonna get up out of me. The scene that I mess around and create, you don't know who I be. Because I got multiple personalities. It's hard for you to dissect what is placed in what. It's hard for you to dissect what you scared to see. People don't recognize the good, but they always say, oh, he mean, he this, he's a motherfucker. Well, that's cool, because the only motherfucker I am is yours. Oh, J Prince is this, he mean, he that, he's a motherfucker. Well, that's cool, because the only motherfucker that I am is yours. See, it's me becoming more of a threat when I'm more subtle and silent. I set it off when I make my own trends and make my own lane, but I see most people do sit here and support it. because I give it. I don't take it. People respect you more when you don't ask for handouts. That's what a creeping tiger do. He do what he do. He eat when he eat. He move on his own tune. He move his own feet. He ain't got an answer to nobody, because ain't nobody give a damn about their talent when they mess around and slip up. Man. I don't know when to end this. Y'all want a new one or y'all want a throwback? I'm gonna let y'all decide. Y'all the people. New one. I'm the best and there's nothing that you can do about it. Never wanted this negative stunt, so let's tell the truth about it. Since the day I showed my face, I done nothing but be consistent on what you see about it. But I swear you keep pressing more negative energy than I'ma have to air the dirty laundry along with it. The more pressure that comes, the more I bottle up emotions just so it can explode. I hold more than I express, and I was told that's the worst move. I don't bend, I don't duck, and I don't fold. But you can't tell me no ignorant human nothing. It's impossible to talk to a brick wall. So you can say what you want to say, and you can talk that talk. But real poets, such as myself, ain't doing no talking, because we hit that stage. So you can say what you want to say, and you can talk that talk. But real poets such as myself ain't doing no talking, because when we hit that stage, we walk that walk. So what new poem have you came with? Because most of my stuff come with a blueprint and no main topic. Let me stop this because I can freestyle the rest of this. This is just real talk when I have something on my chest I need to rip off. This motherfucker who I'm talking about is a rip-off. Excuse my language. But I had to go on and let a whole bunch of stuff off. I mean, where does the line cross? Because I seen nothing wrong when I didn't have to make that line cross. But you crossed that line, boss. You just lost. But you think it's okay to mess around and question what I bring to this table. You just another crisscross. Even the most advanced poet can't even get this unique. But I was your biggest fan at one time. Excuse me. But let me switch that around. You was my biggest fan. No, I'm saying this wrong again. Y'all know what I'm saying. And why everybody recording, I ain't gonna get too personal and start reopening cases. All I'm saying is I'm just giving warning shots and just sending messages and just letting people know what it is with me. Not to sit here and abuse my talent and my gift and my power. Just want to set the record straight for anybody who want to question my loyalty and the way I support this here community and shit. I like to know, for a hater, how many times you gonna talk crazy and not mention the good? How many times are you gonna say what I'm not doing, but you scared to mention the one that outweigh all this bad and shit? I mess around and do this thing with nothing in return because I don't expect nothing from it. My love is very well guarded, so only a few people can receive it. You received it at one point, but I guess you just waved, then you just wiped yourself out, right? Free. This ain't poetry talk. What is this?
It's real talk.
Alright. Because I ain't got time to mess around and waste my whole energy just writing something that's real in my heart. But at the end of the day, I refuse to tear my own self apart. I may let a whole bunch of stuff slow me down, but one thing I'm not going to do is let my foot stop. I mean, it's just a rough rock trying to get over another roadblock. I'm just sitting around here trying to get everything straightened out the way it used to be a week ago. But it's funny what 7 days could change when somebody want to sit here and sit down and just aim. Used to have a firm grip. Now you forget who I am now. But the difference between me and you is I ain't gotta say too much because I let the spirit speak for itself. So before you mess around and say what I'm not, explain what I is and what you supposed to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, you just a secret of mine. Your face was hardly in any of these buildings. So, another thought that I concealed. And I just don't have time for the bullshit. That's that. Alright. Alright, y'all. Y'all good? Everybody good? Cause I ain't trying to hold up nobody's time. I done driven y'all everywhere. One thing about this poetical life is it's a drug. So I came in to act. You can't talk poetics if you never wrote or even lived through it. You may never find a unique individual who is well orchestrated as a symphony. Some say I'll go down in history in this lyrical poetical district. Surprised that you're embracing me, because most is afraid of this. No reason to hold back because what I speak be tighter than pinstripes. I nonchalantly paint the picture on a rainy window, facing every challenge and this pain I was bona fide given. I be the chosen one throughout the light and the night, the son of a king and a queen. I'm just a gifted child. How do you think I got so unique? Exploring years before I ever hit the mic, and I gracefully earned my spot, giving you my ocean views. It's a swift process for a chosen few. I kept it firm and I followed through. I kept it humble, trying to break the tune. My presence is pure and you know it's true. Now, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. So when y'all look up ocean views, you hear that hook, it's gonna be one of y'all favorite poems. Alright. Now, this is my last one. Now, I'm gonna give y'all this. This is for y'all. We do this thing called pop. We do what they call a popcorn, right? So, when I say po' boys, y'all say make noise. Po' boys.
Make noise.
Po' boys.
Make noise.
Alright. See, nobody can stop my flow. Cause I don't bend and I don't break. Too much uniqueness for me to run straight. Too much witty thoughts for me to not be great. Too much rich jewels at heart for my soul to go broke. Too much unorthodox wordplay to be boxed in some cage. I'd rather release my rage on this paper and proceed to the next page. I don't dance, I just do this. Burning the stage down, cause at the ending of the show, I smell piff. I stay posted up like an advertisement that's ready to present some unique shit. Po' boys.
Make noise.
Po' boys.
Make noise.